Hey, friends, I hope that you are well. I'm talking today about awakening. We have this exciting time that we're in on the planet. We have personal awakenings happening in the hearts of the people, in your hearts, in the hearts of the beings that are living on this planet. We have an awakening that's happening in the earth, and we have a global awakening, more of a collective recognition, awareness, growth, and movement that we are all consciously or unconsciously participating in. And I wanted to talk a little bit about four keys, four important keys to awakening in this time. And so, whether you are having a personal awakening within yourself, your soul, and your spirit, or you're just looking at how the whole planet is awakening and your place in it, and how can you best prepare and stay connected during this time. This is for you. So when anything awakens, new perceptions and perspectives abound, new ways of looking at things, new ways of growing, all happen when there's an awakening. And if you look at the natural world is a great place to take a peek into what happens when things wake up. When the earth wakes from the winter slumber, there's a melt-off that happens in many regions, a melt-off of the snow. There's a lot of melting, which causes a lot of water, which causes a lot of mush and mud. And there's a period where all of the water that is on the earth gets absorbed, and the plants and the flowers start to open up. The roots start to really liven up, and things start to come through, push through the earth so that they can live and proliferate. And so some of those actions are tenuous. Some of those actions take a lot of energy for life to happen. And sometimes they happen so quick, you don't even realize that it's happening. All of that is something that we're experiencing or could be experiencing as we either personally awaken or awaken collectively on the planet. And so it's easy during a time like this to get thrown off, to feel a lot of chaos, to feel ungrounded or unsettled. It's totally normal. You have a choice as to how you want to manage that, and you can have a much easier ride through this awakening if you do four things. The first thing is to get rooted. Get rooted in the earth. And there's a difference between being grounded and rooted. Grounded means that you're connected to your body, you're connected to the earth, which is excellent. Rooted means you are actually in the roots and the system of the earth. When you are rooted, you have access to an infinite, expansive energy of knowledge and life and growth. And from that place, you are not alone. You have access to information that you would not otherwise have when you're rooted into the earth. So rooting into the earth so that you can energetically connect in, spread your roots so that the winds of change and the sometimes disruptive energy of awakening does not knock you over. You're able to sway and move in the wind. And so that's the first key to being present and ready for this awakening, personally and collectively, is to get rooted. And you can do that through breathing, you can do that through sitting on the earth, you can do that through visualization, meditation, many ways to do that. Check out some of my other videos on meditation and activation if you want some solid support in getting rooted. The second thing that is a key to these times and to the collective and individual awakening that's happening is to pay attention to your nervous system. Your nervous system is recalibrating itself. All of our nervous systems are recalibrating. And we're most familiar with this through the collective trauma that we've experienced through the coronavirus. And we're all being asked to reset our nervous system. Something has been triggered for us. The great unrest that has happened as a result of this pandemic has put our nervous system in a compromised position. And our nervous systems could have and probably were already in a compromised position with all of the oppression and trauma to the people on the planet. A lot of nervous systems were already jacked up. After the pandemic, it got even more intense. So pay attention, recognize that even if you're well shielded and you have all your shit in check, that your nervous system needs some support. So pay attention to practices that are going to help you to soothe yourself on a regular basis, not just when you're feeling out of whack. Practices that soothe yourself, such as movement, singing, humming, physical things that you can do to soothe your nervous system, as well as looking into natural supplements that help the internal, to help you internally to regulate and balance your nervous system. So that's the second piece, managing and working with and recalibrating your nervous system. The third key to this wild awakening time that we're in is to work with the energy of your heart, to continue conscious practices of aligning your heart with your soul. You got a body, a mind, a heart, and you have a soul. And your soul, it can be your compass if you allow it to be. So working to align your heart with your soul on a regular basis so that your soul is not something that you just know is out there or you have sort of an abstract idea of. Practice engaging with your soul. And all you need to do is bring awareness to heart and soul. Offer some gratitude to heart and soul. Thank you, heart, for aligning with soul. Thank you, soul. I'm listening, paying attention, and thank you for your guidance in this awakening process. That conscious awareness and that conscious connection and communication with your soul will bring more information from your soul to your consciousness. So that's the third key, aligning your heart with your soul. The fourth key to this awakening time. So these first three keys really all had to do with you and the way that you are interacting with yourself and your own soul. The fourth key has to do with other people. When there is a time, so the fourth key has to do with other people. And so the fourth key is about finding your people. Finding your people. This awakening that we're in is not a solo operation. Part of the awakening and part of what we're being called and invited into, and part of the recalibration of our nervous system requires us to be with other people. It requires us to come out of our ultra-independent, I'll figure it out on my own, I'm strong, I'm solid, I don't need to be vulnerable space, and into a space of collaboration with other humans. I am learning this and have been learning this pretty hardcore for the last couple of years because I'm somebody who usually runs solo and takes care of everything I need to by myself. That's how my parents are. That's how I was raised. I've pretty much rolled that way or have rolled that way until the last couple of years when I have been really called to know and to be aligned with my people. So find your people and soften into them. Be with them. Because as we go through this awakening, it requires us to be vulnerable and it requires us to be together. So if you have a community that you're a part of, go ahead and get closer. If you have a community that you're a part of that you're not quite aligned with, try to figure out why you're not aligned and see how you can become more aligned. Or take it as an understanding that you need to find different people or expand your circle of people. So be with your community, spend more time with them, and start talking about what's happening on the planet and how you can work together to continue to lean into this recalibration and this awakening. We need one another now more than ever. And as we move forward, it's going to be almost impossible to move forward by ourselves. We're stronger together. So those are the 4 keys to working in and being in this awakening right now, whether you're having a personal awakening or we're talking about the collective. Get rooted, manage your nervous system, align your heart with your soul, and find your people. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining me. This is a really exciting topic. I love sharing around it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Go ahead and drop a comment, and make sure you subscribe if you'd like to hear more information along these lines. Have a beautiful day.